Maybe I haven't done a good enough job of conveying this lately, but I'm really liking a lot of what Impact Wrestling is doing at this time. I really am, and I'm actually relatively excited for Lockdown this upcoming Sunday, March 9th. I have to say that. And frankly, with kind of the way the TNA product is going right now, and it seems like with the creative direction of the product, it's a shame that this company over the years has run off so many fans with so much of its BS, because I frankly think that if a lot of these fans that have been run off over the years gave this company and gave this product a second chance, they might actually find out that they enjoy it a lot more than they might have envisioned. And for some people, anyways, that are watching the WWE in part only because they've been so disenfranchised by TNA, they might actually find that they are enjoying TNA's product for what they like and for their taste more than the WWE. And right now, like I said, it's not perfect. There's still got a ways to go to get to that next level, so to speak, brother. But they're doing a lot of good things, and it's become, lately at least, a lot easier to sit through a 2 hour Impact. They're giving me some good character development, featuring some different people, giving me some good feuds, some good storylines, a lot for me to like as a fan of Impact Wrestling right now. One of those things that I think would please a lot of those disenfranchised TNA fans would be the current treatment of Samoa Joe. Look, TNA, I think, whether it be because of necessity or what have you, is pushing this guy. And they are getting behind this guy. And it is a really good and refreshing thing to see. This is an example of TNA pushing one of its older faces, so to speak, and that being a good thing because it has been so long. This contract signing between him and Magnus. I'm still interested to see how MVP can automatically set up the Joe Rule stipulation for the lockdown match this upcoming Sunday without Dixie responding in every way. I don't even care at this point. It's the fact that they are getting behind Samoa Joe. It is the fact that it's like they're throwing a little bit of a frickin' bone here to some of us TNA fans that have stuck with this product over the years and have been frustrated and flat out disappointed, and like I said, maybe even disenfranchised with the use of Samoa Joe and others at the expense of using other guys that primarily didn't deserve the spot. So I'm incredibly excited about the possibilities that come with Samoa Joe versus Magnus Sunday at Lockdown. This contract signing segment was good in part because of what it leads to. And then later on in the night, this global gut check winner, Bad Bones, found out what Samoa Joe is all about, brother. And with the Joe Rule stipulation for the title match, and the fact that you have Bad Bones tap out here, and the fact that Samoa Joe has made Magnus tap out before, it really leads you to believe that Samoa Joe is going to be your next TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and it's going to happen at Lockdown this Sunday. Now, you could sit there and make the argument storyline-wise that they don't have to do that, and maybe that's a good thing that they've positioned the babyface in such a way where it looks like he can win, only to have the heel win at the last minute. But by God, could they generate a lot of good attention for themselves and a lot of good feelings for them as a company and for their product with current TNA fans and those old TNA fans that don't watch anymore and the disenfranchised TNA fans by having Samoa Joe win that strap next Sunday at Lockdown. And I hope and I hope and I hope that they go there. And frankly, I almost wish they would have done a little bit more in terms of tying in the history and the friends and foes kind of angle here between Samoa Joe and Magnus, because there is a lot of story to tell here. And they've told a little bit of it, but there's so much more. So I hope this is a rivalry and a feud that continues for the next couple of months. But I do deep down secretly hope that Samoa Joe does indeed win that belt at Lockdown on Sunday.
Mark is smart here, and I have come on this Impact review to file a formal protest against Dave Lagana and Dixie Carter and all of the executives involved with TNA Impact Wrestling. Because what I want to know is, you've got Bad Influence and you've got the American Wolves. Why are they not instantly engaged in a tag team wrestling feud? Because they are two of the best motherfucking tag teams in the world. But then no, we've got to sit there and make this a triple threat tag and put the stupid bromans in them. And then they win the damn match. And they're in the match at Lethal Lockdown on Bobby Roode's team. What the fuck is this shit? Bad Influence should have won this match here clearly. Then they should have maybe got into it with the American Wolves. Lockdown. And then hold on. And then you start a 3-month feud between them where they wrestle every week for the tag team titles. And then at Slammiversary, they have a 2 out of 3 falls match for 2 of the best motherfucking tag teams in the world. Why are they so insistent on pushing these stupid bromans? Nobody cares about Jesse Goddard's. Nobody cares about Robbie E. Maybe Zima Ion because he's small and does flips, and I like that. But damn it all, TNA. You've got Frank Kazarian. You've got Christopher Daniels, Davey Richards, Eddie Edwards. This has so many possibilities. They could have a 3-month tag team feud. Then they could feud with each other as singles competitors. Oh my god, it would be awesome. But you gotta do this, TNA. Don't dick tease us. You need to fix this next week on Impact. You need to have Bad Influence beat the Bromans, take that spot on Bobby Roode's team on Lockdown, and then you begin the feud of epic awesomeness for 2014. The Bad Influence versus the Wolves. Oh my god. Joygasm. Do it! Do it now, TNA! Otherwise, I will not stream your pay-per-view this Sunday, and I mean it! I mean it, damn it. And when Marcus Smart says something, most of the time you can take it to the bank. We want this, you need this, because Bad Influence and the Wolves are 2 of the best motherfucking tag teams in the world.
Another thing that's got me digging Impact Wrestling right now is the development of the Ethan Carter III EC3 character. This guy is outstanding. Now you might sit there and say, well, he was a WWE reject. Like, Daddy, come on now. You know what I mean when I'm talking about the WWE rejects, the guys that have had their time at the top that were kind of spit out by the company. Derek Bateman didn't even really get a chance, frankly, with the WWE. So as a result, to me, he almost feels like a fresh face for TNA because he was somebody you never really saw too much in WWE at all whatsoever. And man, this Ethan Carter III character is something else. This guy is entertaining. Guy is that type of smug kind of ass heel that I think at some point in time, believe it or not, even if we can't see it right now, could potentially make a tremendous babyface character down the road. Yeah, I know I said that. But he's not going there yet. He beat Douglas Williams in the UK. And beat him in short order. That's what the hell I'm talking about. And then later on in the night, as you get Kurt Angle's whole triumphant feeling Hall of Fame ceremony, and the crowd was very hot for him, chanting USA in the UK. That's pretty awesome. And at least Angle actually showed up for that Hall of Fame ceremony. Ethan Carter, the way he interrupted with the thought bubbles and everything else, God, that was awesome. Absolutely, beyond a doubt, maybe one of the 2 or 3 most interesting characters for me in professional wrestling right now has to be Ethan Carter III. And again now, at Lockdown, this is how you develop and build a star. You go from him feuding with somebody like, let's say, a Sting, to now he's going against a Kurt Angle. And I hope this is just the beginning of a feud between the two of them, that Lockdown isn't the only match. And I hope that Ethan Carter III does win, because that would be another signature victory for a guy like this, and a very impressive victory to put on the guy's resume. I have no problem with somebody like a Kurt Angle being in the company, using him as kind of that measuring stick individual, if you will, especially when it's right for business for him to put somebody over like an EC3. Utilize him and his name and his profile to help elevate somebody else and help make a new star. So this is just another thing that I really like about TNA right now. And frankly, even though I'm not always big on Kurt Angle, he's been doing some good business recently. Bobby Roode, and now it looks like he's going to be doing more of the same again with Ethan Carter III. I said before I was curious to see what their vision as a company is for the Samuel Shaw character, where they're going to go with it. And like I said, at least I'll say this. Currently, between WWE and TNA, Samuel Shaw is a unique character. So he's doing something different. It gives off a very, very good creeper vibe. So it feels like Samuel Shaw is actually buying into this character, believing in this character, engrossing himself in this character. And when somebody does that, puts their all into a character, it comes across on the television screen or in person when you watch it. And here, an example of utilizing a guy like Samuel Shaw properly. Now you've given him a big match at a pay-per-view, and you've got him going at Mr. Anderson. You know, this would be a nice initial kind of handshake feud for him. Again, utilize a guy like a Mr. Anderson to sit there and put over somebody like a Samuel Shaw. I'm down for that. TNA is in a position where they need to create as many new faces and as many fresh stars as they possibly can. And again, this is an example of, will TNA do the business model the way they used to, which is Anderson goes over Samuel Shaw and there was no point for anything? Or does Samuel Shaw go over Mr. Anderson here and maybe you start getting onto something? That's what we'll have to find out, I guess, on Sunday. But hey, I'm for this feud. I have no problem with it whatsoever. Good introductory feud, and it's a good use of Anderson, I think.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Dick Storm here, baby. Woo! And I'm here to shine a little light on things for you in case you didn't understand already. Let you know a little bit of the truth spit it out by one-eyed monster of justice. Now, of course, Gunner, he a talented individual, but he no Cowboy James Storm. And he trying to sit there and figure out this week on Impact why James Storm did what James Storm did, baby. Well, it's very simple, Gunner. You got different classifications of people. You got Gunners, and then you got Cowboy James Storm. And you gonna sit there and hand him that tag team title shot. Like James Storm's a charity case. Last time I checked, James Storm has been with TNA since the beginning. Last time I checked, James Storm has already reached that mountaintop and become TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He's been multiple-time tag team champion. He ain't nobody's charity case, especially yours, Gunner. And then you won't sit there and whine and cry about it. And then you won't sit there and find him backstage and cheap shot him and sucker punch him. Well, that's all fine and good with the Dick Storm, baby. Because you best believe, Gunner, the modern-day Viking, that James Storm's gonna cowboy up come next Sunday at Lockdown. And he gonna teach you a lesson. He gonna teach you respect. And he gonna teach you that James Storm is the better man. Now, Gunner, you think you're gonna go in there and be triumphant? I only got one thing to say to you, brother. Sorry about your damn luck. Woo! Ride the Dick Storm. Oh, yeah.
One thing I didn't particularly like about the show is this Knockouts tag match with the two monster bitches, Lady Tapa and the alpha female, going against Velvet Sky and Madison Rain. Wow. The fact that the alpha female is selling anything for Velvet Sky is terrible. The fact that I damn near forgot that Madison Rain is the Knockouts champion is even more terrible. Now, that could be on my part, partially, sure. That could also be partially on TNA's part because of the fact that they have gotten away from something that used to be a positive for them, something that used to be a big asset for them. And they have gotten to that point where they've made me care only this much about the Knockouts division, whereas that used to be one thing that I really liked about the product so much more than the WWE and was one of the primary reasons that I watched the product. Ugh. Ugh. Now, I will be honest, I'm not 100% sure if I like the concept of MVP being an investor and at the same time being a somewhat regular in-ring competitor. It's kind of one of these things where it seems like they're blurring the lines a little bit. You're trying to get him over as this investor, as kind of this front office personnel, and at the same point in time, he's an active, relatively full-time competitor. Well, which one are we supposed to buy into? Which one are we supposed to... We know MVP can go in the ring to a certain degree. We know who he is in that aspect. Maybe focus a little more on the investor part and the executive part, the front office part. I don't know. But then, well, you get a match like this. You get MVP versus Bobby Roode. In this match here, primarily with Austin Aries as the guest referee, it felt like they're pretty much fighting over who gets to have Austin Aries, the greatest man that ever lived, and the X Division champion on their team. And I like the fact here that Austin Aries is involved. I don't know what the hell he was wearing with his trunks, but hey, it is what it is, whatever. He's the greatest man that ever lived. That must have been a vegan surprise or something. I don't know. I'm not supposed to judge that, frankly. But I love the way that they are featuring Austin Aries in a important spot here. He is your X Division champion. I can't understand how they can't get him in a serious feud because he is somebody that can wear that X Division title and wear it with pride and wear it very well. And it disappoints me when the company can't do more with a guy like him. It does. However, match here is okay, but this is all about the story of what Austin Aries is going to do and who ultimately he's going to side with. And I guess it looks like he decided to pair himself up to Bobby Roode and hitch his wagon to that star. At least that's the impression you would have got as he turned on MVP at the end of this match. It's like, hell yeah. You never felt like you got the full business finish between Rude and Aries as a tag team to begin with. So I'm on down with Austin Aries being on Bobby Roode's team, especially because of the fact you got the bromans in there. You need a second legit competitor when you've got MVP and the Wolves and somebody else, I think that's yet to be named, if I remember correctly. You look at MVP's team, and then you look at this team. Bobby Roode's team needed an Austin Aries because you have to establish the fact that Bobby Roode's team can actually win, that Bobby Roode could actually have 10% ownership and all this other stuff. So it was a nice little twist and a nice little finish to Impact this week for a nice show. And my God, the UK crowd and the size of the UK crowd and the interest level of the UK crowd and the energy level of the UK crowd makes this show so much better. It's not one of these things where you have to sit there and hijack a damn show to make it entertaining. The crowds, when they're into it and you feel their energy level and you feel their passion, and hell, when you see the size of the crowds for Impact compared to what they usually have, that will pump you up and that'll get you energized for the show. Like I said, a really, really good Impact this week. Let me know what you thought of this week's Impact down in the comments section below. Next week, there will not be an Impact review. Instead, I will be doing a full Lockdown preview. So that'll be coming up on Friday. So no Impact review, Luke Dogg, and all the others for next week. Instead, it's going to be a Lockdown preview.